Hello, happy people, and happiest days to y'all. On Monday, I do set aside for my reviews of older RPGs like Dungeons & Dragons or war games like Battleship, and do some stuff. And so I had recently done a bunch of modules for this, like the 7-episode series by Gary Gygax from G1 Against the Giants through Q1, Queen of the Demon Web Spiders. That won all the things. Won that series. Won the accolades at the top scoring module of all time in the 30th game anniversary. And then that sort of thing. I've done one before. It was The Lost City by Tom Moldvay, but I haven't done any other B's. In BECMI era, I've done a few BECMI things here and there. I did some X's and that sort of thing, but I thought it would be fun for me to hit up big stuff again. All right, so here we go. All right, so this B1 in Search of the Unknown was also published in '78, like the first 6 in the stuff and that sort of thing. It's by Mike Carr, and the cover art by the later ones is by Darlene Pekul, although some other folks did the first one. And interior art, once again, this is by David C. Sutherland III, a name we've seen a lot in the last series. Right. B1 is not set in my stars set in a generic setting. This is for levels 1 to 3 for you folks. Now I started off playing BECMI when I was a kid in 5th grade with my fellow person named Joshua that I met. So we started off with the basic set, and then we had we played the In Search of the Unknown and that sort of thing. I started off with Castle Caldwell. It wasn't that great. The castle and the keep there, and that sort of thing. But it was okay, right? But I wouldn't say it was a great introduction to Dungeons & Dragons, right? It's not well designed. It doesn't make sense on a map. But anyway, but yeah, and so did that. Loved lots and that sort of thing. So in BECMI, the B, this was sold with it in the first set, but it was the B here stands for basic, which is dungeon delving, which this is too, and then the E stands for expert, up to level mid 15s and such, and that's all about learning how to explore. And so there's modules like X1 and X2 that are done reviews for are all about exploration. And then also in the C is for the companion, and that's all about setting up kingdoms. And I did my CM1 tested the warlords, did that one by Douglas Niles, and then setting up and then fighting major battles as a general or an admiral. And the M, which stands for master, that's all about getting harder modules by doing some extra planar stuff. And then also, you will also there all the way up to level 36. And then while you're there, you'll also chase immortality. And then the I stands for immortality. Once you're basically a demigod, you take the path for. And that sort of other thing. So there you are. So that's what the BECMI stands for. And that's what I started with. So this was printed actually a very larger 32 pages with 6 printings since then. It's pretty good. So this was designed, like I mentioned before, to be an onboard ramp for DMs and players alike. It's a dungeon, like I mentioned. It's a dungeon dive into a place. I'm sure I'm going to slaughter this name. Caverns of Clascaston. Clascaston, I don't know. With advice for new DMs on how to run, given in a few places. The player can find loads of good stuff, weird things like the pool room, and that sort of a thing, and then also kill stuff and get the treasure. Alright, so it's designed to be an intro module, so for those reasons, players can learn a lot of the good stuff in order to get themselves caught up. And so as well as DMs, for example, it has a section on a huge number of first level characters that they can take, as well as how to convert it to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, which is how I played. You can also add monsters and treasure to the room descriptions that were already made for you. It also has information on how to get hirelings and henchmen and what you'll need to do in order to succeed. It has a detailed plot for onboarding folks too. Rogan, the Fearless, and Zelgar, the Unknown, built this hidden conflicts. Stopped an invasion, so they're popular among the folks, and did some questionable things there, although they then created an army to head out and lost and were never heard from again. They did. enter the PCs. Yay, enter the PCs. So I sold this as a campaign with a plane that I created called Med, which is a lot of Arabian, Southeast Asian, and East Asian too. Influences, sub-Saharan Africa too, influences too. It's fun in the sun. There I soloed it with my lawful evil Goodman reset level wise necromancer. After leaving Thracia, his initial point of creation, and he'd been, because of some stuff that had happened, he'd annoyed some demon lords and I wanted to push him. So he was sent to another plane of existence back in the basic level. And so he sold this, but with a different set of companions. But he's lawful evil, but these companions are all neutral. All right. So like it does what it sets out to do. It's a good onboard. But it's a little simple. The plot's a little small. It's a little underwhelming in places for those reasons. It was warmly received then, and it made a lot of money for Mike Carr because he got part. And after the Dallas Egbert murders, and I think it was 78 or 79, something like that. They started to sell bank and made a lot of money and that sort of thing. So Gygax would replace it, and then because he was like, I want to get that money, right? So he replaced it with B2 and that sort of thing. But I think it's 8 out of 10. It's good. It's a good start. But it's not the perfect start that you could be, but it's fine. It does a good job. It does exactly what it's setting out to do. Alrighty, so there you are. So those are my thoughts on In Search of the Unknown B1, written by Mike Carr and cover art by Darlene Pekul, and the later ones, the cover ones, and then the interior art by David C. Sutherland III. Alrighty, so there you are. So what are your thoughts about this, right? And that sort of thing. Have you played it? Have you dungeon mastered it? And that sort of thing. Read it a couple times. What did you think about it? Did you agree or disagree with my 8 out of 10? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And there we are, right? That was sold with the initial basic set. And that's sort of stuff already. Yeah. So I did this once already, but it was already damaged with a lot of noise. It had a lot of static and so forth. So I'm going to do this a second time and see if that works. Hopefully it will. All right, so there. If you like that stuff, I do. Like I mentioned before, check out all the previous ones. I've done my top 70. Modules in 7 different settings and that sort of thing, so check those out too. I've played hundreds of modules and that sort of thing. I think it's fair to do them when I solo rather than just making my own, because I feel like that would be biased. And then I also did a lot of other stuff too. And then on Wednesday I do my reviews of video games. Last week of older stuff I did Don't Starve in its 12th anniversary day, literally, not year. And then I'll be doing the follow-up, Don't Starve Together, and that sort of thing. So like that, check it out. And then also I did my thoughts on I've done recently stuff Crusader Kings 3. I did Star Control 2, Heroes of Might and Magic 3. All these older video games, Star Wars stuff too, Star Wars 2. They're at least a few years old. And that sort of thing. And then on Friday, I do my top 10s. The last couple of weeks, I do a top 10 musical artists and albums. I also did my top 10 independent movies, my top, and those sorts of things. So this time, I'm going to be doing my top 10 comic titles in print, not movies. So I think you'll want to check that out. And then on Saturday, do something I call the Serial Saturday that I dedicate to the forgotten storytelling method of movie and TV storytelling stuff and that sort of thing. So if you like that, check them out. I think you'll enjoy that too. And I just recently have done the movie Serial 1935, The New Adventures of Tarzan. That was up right now. And then I also will be doing Tarzan, the Tiger from 29. It's a silent era and such. Alrighty, so there you are. And then to try to do 3 reviews of a week of older things in the fantasy, science fiction, and horror genres to discover. So if you like his older things, that's awesome. That's great. Check out this channel. I think you'll enjoy it lots. And do the YouTube stuff. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon if you're from First Key. I'd be notified of those 7 videos a week. And also let your friends know. But basically share and watch. Those are the key ways that you can grow this channel. Alrighty, so there you are. As you can tell from all these older things, the passion of this channel is the older stuff, right? It's also the title from kind of the worst thing about new books is a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? There's definitely some older stuff we might have forgot about. our passion for the new. Alrighty, so there you are. So if you like those older things, and that sounds like fun to you, then check it out. It's also the channel, because in our passion for the new stuff, we've oftentimes forgotten the older. Alrighty, so there you are. I want to thank you so very, very much, for taking some time out of your day and just investing it. Right, and watching my videos, because we all have so many things, right, that happen in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and so I appreciate it so very, very much. And thanks again, and have an amazing day.